And throughout all that time, I did end up walking across 6 American states. Louisiana.
What? Really?
Yeah, Louisiana being the largest.
WPI student walks 130 plus miles across Massachusetts. All right, everybody. Well, welcome back. It is, I'll just, we don't usually say this, but I'll just mention today is Thursday when we're recording.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an interesting, it's a nice day because we're spending the evening here with Gilbert Hernandez, owner of Búho, the bookstore in Brownsville. So thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me, Sam.
And actually, we're the ones here with you because we're at your store, and
Yes.
This place is beautiful. It really is. I had never been like downtown Brownsville like at this time, and it's so nice. Like just the feeling of like it feels different from downtown McAllen. Is all that I'll leave it at that. But it's a beautiful place that you have here, man. So thanks for letting us come bother you for a little bit.
Oh no, bother me all you want.
And the reason we came to talk to you is because we want to know about this place, man. This Búho. How long has it been open?
Okay, there's 2 ways of answering that question. Because Búho actually started in 2022 as a pop-up shop. I would literally go around town with 500 pounds of books on the back of my pickup truck, selling books wherever they would let me do it. I would do that for 1 whole calendar year, slowly building up the hype and gathering followers. All with the idea that we wanted to prove Barnes & Noble's, half-price books, all these big-name bookstores, we wanted to prove them wrong. The reason being, ever since our Walden Books closed about 12, 13 years ago, Brownsville had not had a bookstore since then.
That whole span.
Exactly. After that happened, a lot of our city's readers, they would write emails, send phone calls over to these stores saying, set up shop in Brownsville. But they would all say something along the lines of, your city's median income rate is a little too low, and your literacy rates, forget it. It does not make sense for us to set up a store in Brownsville. Granted, they said it in nicer words, more professional, but that's how it made us feel. But the demand was there. Plenty of ever since I came back to Brownsville after I studied away. That was the one complaint I kept hearing over and over. We don't have a bookstore. We have to go over to McAllen. We have to go over to the island. Why don't we have a bookstore? The demand was obviously here, but I'm sure that this is a question that you'll ask eventually, but this whole project started because of a question that came to me in the shower. Of all places.
Okay.
It came to me in the shower.
That's a good place to think.
Yes.
Shower thoughts.
Yes.
Are a thing. That's a thing.
A lot of people consider the day the doors open to the public as the birthday of their business. No. The birthday of Búho happened in my shower on the 8th of January, 2022.
And we have a date for this,
yes.
Too. Okay. What time was it, though?
It was an evening shower,
okay, so
actually.
So that's the relaxing kind of shower. Okay.
Actually, now that I've never realized this, but I normally don't do evening showers, but I had an evening shower just because, I guess. But the thought came to me in the form of a question, and the question was Brownsville, Texas, the largest city in America without a bookstore?
Ooh.
I did an all-nighter to find out.
Oh, so you actually investigated this.
Yes. The answer's a little tricky. It's yes and no. But in short, Brownsville was the largest metropolitan area whose principal city did not have a bookstore.
Oh, okay. So we're talking like Olmito and all the surrounding areas, and
like for example, there are 6 cities larger than Brownsville without bookstores, but they exist in dense metropolitan areas where that's not an issue.
Yeah.
For example, fun fact: the largest city in America without a bookstore is North Las Vegas, Nevada. if you live in North Las Vegas and you want a book, just drive down the street to Vegas.
Yeah.
And then the largest city in Texas without a bookstore is Grand Prairie.
Dallas.
The Barnes and Noble in Arlington is 12 minutes away.
Yeah.
They don't have this problem like we did.
It's not the same thing. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. That Brownsville before Búho was the largest metropolitan area whose principal city did not have a bookstore.
Yeah. Because it is the whole. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I mean, obviously there was a need for it.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it's not even like, I mean, obviously there is demand, but like there was a need for it.
Right.
There's a difference between the two.
Oh, for sure.
But you know what? Okay, we're getting on this topic, and it's gonna be fun. But before we talk about Búho,
please.
Before we talk about Búho, I want to ask you about yourself, because there's a lot of people, that walk this street. We're in the middle of downtown. We're like a stone's throw from the river, literally. If you give me a rock the right size, I could probably hit the water. But anyway, there's a lot of people that love your store. We actually got this as a recommendation. Like one of our listeners recommended that we check out your store. So a lot of people know about you. A lot of people come in here. A lot of people love this place. They feel like they know the store, but let's get them to know the person behind it.
Ooh.
So tell us about yourself, right? Kind of like aside from the bookstore, who is Mr. Gilbert Hernandez?
Okay, so Gilbert Hernandez. I was born and raised in Brownsville. I guess I always grew up as what you would call stereotypically call a nerd.
Okay.
I always had my head in a book, but not exactly for the reason that you would think. See, growing up, because I started reading from a ridiculously young age, that kind of fed this idea that was told to me consistently by my teachers, like, "Oh, Gilbert, you're so smart. So because they kept feeding into my ego, let's say, I thought, oh, all these fiction books below me. So when I said that I had my face in a book, by the way, to the listeners, we are listening to the store's grandfather clock, which chimes every 15 minutes.
That's the grandfather right behind me too. A beautiful clock.
Thank you.
And it just made his presence known.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay.
Yes. So because of that that phrase that they kept throwing at me, I thought, okay, well, I have to keep this image up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have to keep this image up. So instead of fiction and Harry Potter, Aragon, all the popular fiction books at the time, I would stick my face in dictionaries, encyclopedias, because I thought that's what quote unquote smart people do.
Yeah, you were like, man, you had the whole persona going and everything. Okay.
But because I was so invested into nonfiction, I deprived myself of the opportunity of all these amazing worlds that fiction authors create. In fact, most of my customers, they purchase fiction books.
Okay.
By far.
And why is that? Is that what you just said, like, because you want to go off into another universe, like, and you feel like you kind of missed out on that?
Yeah.
Where the book takes you?
Yes. I feel like I didn't exercise my imagination as much as some of my classmates in elementary did. Yeah, I felt the need to, I want to know what the capital of Albania is.
Yeah. Okay. That's true.
Or what does the word stereotype mean?
Yeah, like a thesaurus. Like, yeah. And I'm reading like the Bernstein Bears. Okay.
But eventually there did come a point where, and this is quite common with a bunch of other kids that had a similar childhood. For example, when I was a kid, just throwing numbers here, when I was in 3rd grade, I was reading at like 9th grade. But when I got to 9th grade, everyone else was reading 9th grade, and I felt, no, I'm
they're catching up.
Yeah. Why is it suddenly getting harder for me to study?
Yeah.
I thought I was smart. Like, what is this?
You're falling behind. You're falling behind of getting ahead.
Yes. So this is, in short, like an identity crisis for someone in that position, because they kept hearing this word or this identity being thrown at them from teachers and all that. So I did have that little identity crisis as a high schooler. So I did end up slacking. And then during that time, I grew a resentment towards Brownsville. I thought that my happiness existed elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, but still, even though by this point a good chunk of my classmates had outperformed me in grades, I thought I still had a decent chance to apply and get accepted into some out-of-state university.
Okay.
I ended up in WPI in Worcester, Massachusetts. It's an engineering school, Worcester Polytechnic Institute. But I went there thinking that, like I said, thinking that my happiness would be over there because I erroneously thought that it was not in Brownsville at all.
Yeah, because you left, right? Like
right.
In your mind, you like Brownsville's in your past now.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Now, when I was over there, I had a similar situation. I thought, oh no, not engineering's not for me either.
Oh, okay. Well, sometimes you have to go and like figure that out the hard way. You have to learn that you don't like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I had to stick with it because I was on scholarships.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that adds to the interesting factor. Oh, that's a tough one. That happens to a lot of people.
Right. But I guess because I wanted that sort of escape, I would spend all my school breaks just doing these crazy long walks.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them actually made the news.
Your walks made the news?
Yes.
Wait, what do you mean?
If you look up Gilbert Hernandez walks on Google.
Gilbert Hernandez walks?
Yeah.
But okay, so what part of Massachusetts are we talking about? Like,
I walked across the whole state of Massachusetts.
But they like Forrest Gump, they were following you?
No, people didn't follow me like in the movie. But
look this up here.
Yeah, no, look up Gilbert Hernandez walks, Massachusetts. And throughout all that time, I did end up walking across 6 American states. Louisiana.
What? Really?
Yeah, Louisiana being the largest.
WPI student walks 130 plus miles across Massachusetts. And I'm looking at a picture of Gilbert here with a little bit longer hair. Is the only difference here. College student walks across Massachusetts for spring break. That was your spring break?
That was my spring
21-year-old WPI junior and Texas native embarked on a 7-day walk across the Bay State. That was like for spring break. Like
yes.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
What? How did you get news coverage? Like, how did they figure out that you were doing that?
I forgot who reached out to me, but
somebody just saw you walking like
yeah, I'm gonna tell the news.
Like I saw that guy 10 miles ago. He still hasn't gotten to Walmart. Let me see what he's up to. Because that's crazy. Like it's one thing to, but okay, how did that start though? You know, man, we're gonna go into this. How did this walk start? Did you know you were gonna walk across the state?
Okay.
And how did you become like noticed?
Okay, interestingly enough, this whole walking idea happened on my high school prom night. I didn't go to prom. Similarly, because I thought, Brownsville, my high school, it's not for me. Blah, blah.
You're taking off and you're going to Massachusetts.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to prom, but it's still prom night, and I want to do something memorable. I told my parents, Mama, Papa, I'm just going to go out for an evening stroll. But I just kept on walking and walking.
Okay.
And walking. In short, I made it to Port Isabel by sunrise.
You walked all night long?
Yeah.
From here to Port Isabel? Did your parents know you were going to do that?
No.
So you called them and said I'm in Port Isabel? The next day. Wait, but wouldn't they have been like missing you for like an hour later?
Yeah, no, they didn't call me. They didn't call me like at 2 a.m. saying, "Hey, mijo, are you okay?" And then I said, "I think I'm walking to the island."
I'm in Los Fresnos now. Oh my gosh! So this was the first walk.
Yes.
Okay, so from where did you start more or less? Like how many miles what was this? This first walk?
Oh, okay, it must have been 26 total. And the only reason I know that is because when I took the bus to cross the causeway, I went into one of those tourist stores, those big ones.
Yeah.
I bought a cap that said Spring Break 2014 on it. I asked for a Sharpie to write down the date and the number of miles I walked.
to like remember it, to immortalize it.
Exactly.
I love it. I'm still looking at news. The Boston Globe guys covered this. There's like 4 news articles about this 50-state walk leads adventure through the boat. I don't even know some of these words.
Yeah, Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
You're in
Thibodaux.
Louisiana now?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, so Delaware too? Anyway, I'm going to put my phone down. So your first walk was on spring break.
Yes.
And so then you had that same idea. Oh, wait, not spring break, prom night.
Yes.
And then so then you're in college and now you think I'm going to do it again or what?
Yeah, but for the same reason, like, I want an escape. I want to, this is what I'm good at. This is what I should do.
This is what I'm good at.
That's what I was thinking at the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what...
It's my thing.
Yes. But interestingly enough, after college, my first job had nothing to do with engineering.
Ooh, okay.
It was all people skills. I was the manager of a series of scientific conferences in Waterville Valley, New Hampshire.
Really? Wow.
Yes. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, I actually love working with people.
Okay.
An engineer with people skills. Who'd have thunk?
Yeah, and as an engineer, you're more. Yeah, it's not going to be what you want to do.
Yeah, it goes against the stereotype.
You're
of an
in your
engineer.
own mind. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it does.
But it was that job specifically that made me realize, okay, this is what I should be doing. This is what gives me happiness.
So you knew, okay,
service.
At this point, you already knew people. Yeah, service.
Yeah, service.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
You got that part down.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, that was a seasonal job because they have these conferences all over the world for 3 months at a time. The idea was, and they heavily implied it, that after that summer, New Hampshire, I would come back to Brownsville, spend the whole fall here as a little sabbatical, and then I would do the same job again in the winter in Galveston.
Oh, okay. So you travel with it.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Then during October, November, I thought, they haven't gotten back to me. I should ask.
Oh, you're here at this point. You're in Brownsville.
Yes. Yeah, I was here in Brownsville, eagerly awaiting to do that job again. I go, hey, are we gonna do this? They go, Gilbert, you got replaced.
What?
No.
And they didn't tell you?
No.
So you never went to Galveston?
No, I didn't go to Galveston.
But they told you were going back.
Well, they heavily implied it.
Yeah.
They didn't say, Gilbert, you will be working in Galveston. They're
like, be ready type deal.
Yeah, as in my foot was in the door.
Yeah.
But then turns out my foot was not in the right door to begin with.
Oh, man. So now you gotta. Okay, so how does that job transition to us sitting down on the couch in front of a bookstore?
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. So I thought, okay. Well, my reasoning or my thinking was, I'm quote unquote wasting my time in I wasted my time in Brownsville during all this time
waiting around.
Yeah. Well, I did walk across Louisiana though. That was the highlight. It was during that particular fall.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I was like killing time for Galveston.
Walked across Louisiana.
Yes.
Killing time. Dang, man.
So seeing, okay, well, I'm not a good engineer. There's nothing here in Brownsville that remotely resembles this type of scientific conference. Well, I'm gonna help my family out in the fuel industry.
Okay.
Yes. And yeah, it was okay. It was cool to help my family.
Experience, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But it didn't have that element of service that I enjoyed in New Hampshire.
So at this point, you're craving it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, fuel it's a commodity.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put it in your car. People take it for granted. They really just think about like, my meter's blinking. I have to go get it.
Yeah.
I will say though that it was during that time that I got heavily involved in all these wonderful community organizations. Like the Toastmasters, the Rotary Club, Leadership Brownsville, whose members all wanted to see Brownsville prosper, succeed. Hanging around those people also made me want to do something of value to Brownsville.
Okay.
Yeah. And so to come full circle, it was at that time, it was in early 2022 when I had that shower. The magical shower where I asked the question, is Brownsville, Texas the largest city without a bookstore? Yes and no, but I had to do something about it because there was a need. So that's how I started.
And
as
you
a
were
pop-up shop.
you were gonna fill that need.
Yeah, as a pop-up shop.
So how does one carry even a pop-up shop, like even for a pop-up shop, how does one carry around like a store's worth of books, man? Because that's like I'm looking at your book Christmas tree right there, and that's a lot, man. Even for like a truck, man. Like did you just was your room filled with books one day? Like,
Yes.
I can imagine, man.
Yes. Well, that's a funny thing. It started entirely in my room, but then my room got too small, and then I started filling my garage with books.
Okay.
And then the garage got too small. Then I had to rent out a storage unit.
And all this was like the vision the whole time was you're gonna like start a bookstore.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, well,
that's cool, man.
If I'm gonna do this, I'm going to do this.
All in.
No half-ass. No, it has to be all Hail Mary.
Yeah, for sure. That's a lot of things in business. You have to just be all in, right? Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you did, obviously, right? Like, look where we're at.
Yes.
So how did the pop-up shop, a lot of our guests that we talked to, they started that way.
Right.
How did the pop-up shops go?
Oh, they were incredible.
Yeah?
The first one was at a vendor's fair here at Amigoland, at the Amigoland Convention Center. But because I started with that idea that we are going to prove Barnes and Noble's wrong.
Yeah.
There must have been 130 vendors there. I was the only one that consistently had a line.
Really? How do you market yourself? Like how do you make people want to look through your books? Like what did you do to get it? Or they just it was just immediate, like people were just craving or like wanting this for so long?
Oh, for sure. But
okay.
But there is an element of pride there. There's like this Brownsville patriotism as well.
Yeah.
Where on top of the fact that people know that this should be a thing that should exist in Brownsville.
So they had to buy. It's like their civic duty to buy a book.
It is your civic duty to buy a book from Búho.
And now there's a pop-up shop, so they're gonna do it, and they are. There's like merch back in the front there too.
There's merch now. You're right.
So what's up with the owl, man? Okay, when you had the pop-up, when did it become Búho?
Okay.
The name.
Okay. Interesting question. So the idea came to me that January of 2022.
Grandfather clock.
There we go again. But I didn't do my first pop-up until March of that year. So I had 2 months to prepare.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Well, one of the steps of preparation was coming up with the name.
That's such a hard part. It's easy, fun, but hard at the same time.
Oh, yes.
Because you can't have. There's sometimes you have too many good names.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So when you went to your first pop up, you were already Búho. You were already the owl.
Yes, I was already Búho.
Okay. But why an owl?
Okay. When I was coming up with possible names for the store, there must have been 60 or so possibilities.
Exactly. Hard because it's easy.
Yes. Interestingly enough, Búho was the last name on that list. Then I started narrowing it down, eliminating, until I came to 5. You could call them finalists. I thought, okay, the name must be this, it must be that, it must be this. Then I would grade each criteria on a scale of 1 to 10. Which, fun fact, this is how engineers make decisions.
You had a system.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So you see how each step of my way is helped make the store possible.
That's true, yeah.
Yes. And,
so you had a top 5.
Yes, top 5. And then I had the whole grading system with the idea that the winner would be the name of the store.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it won.
Búho was the winner.
So tell us, teach us what you taught me, and maybe everyone knows, and I was just the one person that didn't. But what does Búho mean and in what language?
So Búho means owl in Spanish,
which is why he has an owl.
Yes,
because it is an owl.
But you brought up a good point. What about lechuza?
I thought it was lechuza.
Yes. Well, lechuza and tecolote are two other Spanish words for owls, except that the lechuza is the owl with the rounded head, like a barn owl or a snowy owl, whereas the Búho has the little horns.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's the tecolote, which is the Mexican Spanish term for an owl.
See, I did not know that.
There's plenty of other examples.
Okay, so this is why you were reading the dictionaries and thesauruses like 15. If we could go back in time to like 14-year-old like Gilbert and be like, no, keep reading that dictionary, man. You're gonna be on a podcast one day, and you're gonna teach some guy that there's another word for possum that you never heard of, and it's gonna be worth it, man. It's gonna be worth missing out on the Bernstein Bears. Do you sell children's books here too, right?
I do. Yeah.
You sell like everything. That's cool. How many genres do you have here?
Over 40.
Over 40 genres. Other languages too?
Yes, actually. Someone today was asking me for books in German.
Really?
Yes, we have 2.
Oh wow! And you know what's in your inventory.
More or less.
Yeah, because you ordered them all, right?
Yes.
Like, do you have anyone else helping you out here?
Yes, we have one part-time associate. Her name's Jackie. She's a superstar. Oh my gosh.
Shout out to Jackie.
Shout out to Jackie. She's incredible.
Okay, and she's here are you always here?
I'm always here. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like daily. Okay.
Yes.
That's cool, man. Because I was just thinking, like, I mean, you have a lot of stuff here, and it's actually a really nice size for a bookstore. Because we've been to other local bookstores in the valley. There's not very many though. Like, I guess just in general, like, there's a lot of like chain, like obviously Barnes and Noble and all that. There used to be a Hastings like back in the day, like in McAllen. But like, there's something about a local bookstore that just has like this ambience to it. You just can't match it. Like, it just feels like you just want to like grab one of those books and have like, I don't even drink coffee, but like have a nice cup like when it's like raining outside, like a gloomy day. I just love the vibe here, man. And I can just imagine that like you must have a lot of foot traffic coming in here. So I mean, I guess it keeps you pretty busy, huh?
Oh yes.
Yeah, for sure.
There's never a dull day here.
Yeah, but I mean, you love what you're doing though, right?
Oh yes.
You can tell, man. You can tell. Do you what's your favorite genre right now?
Ooh.
Now that we've moved on from the dictionaries and stuff.
That's the saddest part about owning a bookstore. I barely have time to read anymore.
I think that happens like in every like industry or whatever. Like once it becomes work, it changes.
Right.
Like for my wife, you know, she loves music, but now that she's an orchestra director, it's not the same anymore. Like Mozart doesn't sound like something she just wants to listen to. It kind of sounds like work. That must be what's going on with you. Were you a bookworm before?
Yeah. Okay. When I graduated college, my girlfriend at the time, as a graduation present, gave me a book, thinking that I was an avid reader, but I really wasn't. I think after 5th or 6th grade, when I went to middle and high school, the classrooms didn't normally have an encyclopedia set or a dictionary.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because there was, elementaries had the library too, but the classrooms always had books anyway.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, since then, or during that time, I would only read because it was an AR requirement.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the AR test.
How many points or whatever.
Yes,
I forgot about that, man.
No, and I would just do the bare minimum. I'd get a small book. Yeah, because when you get assigned to read a book, it takes away from the charm and magic.
My wife would agree with you. Yeah, because you're no longer doing it because you want to.
Right.
It's being forced on you.
Exactly. It's no longer out of your own free will in a court.
Yeah, which means it's not fun anymore.
Exactly. Still though, my girlfriend from college thought I was an avid reader, and she got me a book, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. A very interesting book on
motorcycle maintenance?
Yeah, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Oh, okay, so that's just the title.
Yes, that's the whole title.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fascinating philosophical book about a father and a son who do a road trip on a motorcycle across the country, and they have philosophical discussions with the people they meet along the way.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you read the book?
I read the book, and I thought, this is pretty neat. I must keep on reading.
So you did.
So I did.
Okay. Did you stay like in philosophy type deals or?
No, I mostly gravitated towards leadership, history, business, those types of books because I thought that they would add some type of value to what I was doing at that time in the fuel industry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But because I wasn't exactly at a strong enough leadership position, I couldn't exercise all the lessons of the books. I want to. I have all this information, but I don't know how to use it.
You're not at that. Yeah, you don't have the platform at the time.
Uh-huh.
Was there somebody walking in?
No, someone's waving hi.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They saw you from...
Yes.
Did you know them?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So, actually, that's true. There's a lot of people. We're at the store, guys. Like, there's people all over the place. It's closed right now.
Right, but people say hi through the window.
Yeah, and it probably looks open because all the lights are on.
Right.
I want to ask you, man. I guess changing the subject a little bit.
Go for it.
We walked in here and there's like all these chairs there. Like, you do presentations here, or what's that all about?
Oh, okay. Apart from being a bookstore, Búho is also a community center. We do all kinds of events here.
Cool. Nice, man. So you really do get you have a lot of community involvement here.
Exactly.
That's awesome, man. Like, I mean, Brownsville, every city needs that kind of thing, you know? It kind of keeps people like together. Yes. That's so cool. That's like a gift to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Do you now, because I mean, like you mentioned, you're here every day, right? So it's hard to find time to like read for fun,
right?
But like, do you ever find yourself just like going through your own your own selection and being like, oh, this one's interesting? Like, do you find yourself shopping in your own store?
Every now and then, especially if it's on a slow day, I will browse through some of the books. The antique ones, especially. Oh my gosh!
You have some of that stuff out here?
Yes,
the antique books.
Yes, in fact, the curio cabinet, which is behind the camera, it has our oldest and rarest books.
Cool. What would a person find in there?
Okay.
They're like old Bibles and stuff like that, or like manuals and stuff?
Not Bibles, because if a Bible's there, it will not last long.
Because somebody will take it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Let's see, from here, we have some novels from the early 1900s.
Cool.
We have about a dozen books from the 17 and 1800s. We have books on Brownsville and RGV history.
Really? And so those are all for sale? Like,
yes.
You can go into that cabinet. Cool, man.
Yes.
So then, in a lot of these books, are there like notes that people written? Like, that kind of stuff is interesting to me, man.
Sometimes.
Like, a lot of times, like, when I've seen, like, when we're talking about antiquity, like, well, for books specifically, I like seeing like this to my dearest like Elidor or something like that. That's so cool, you know.
Yes.
That's and they kind of like you go back to the time that they were living in, because my aunt, she had a book that was, I mean, according to this, I wasn't there, right, obviously, but according to the story, it was a Bible that was owned by like a group of slaves, or no, it was a Bible that was in like their quarters, you know.
Yes.
Like during that time, it was like a plantation,
right?
And inside the book, I mean, it's the Bible, right? So you have the whole Bible, but like the part that I liked was like the very beginning, which is not the Bible. It was like one of the people saying like to my dearest something, like,
wow.
And basically it was just like advice. Like, I guess if I was like the grandma and giving it to my granddaughter, handing it off, and it was just so cool to see that kind of stuff, and like that in itself took me back, and just felt like to imagine what they were going through.
Oh my god!
And you think about like where the book has been, you know, because
right.
Like every book has had a journey. Like, so that's so cool that you have those kind of things in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I can imagine that. I mean, are there collectors around here for that kind of thing?
Oh yes.
Like even like for the antiquity of it.
Oh yes.
Cool, man. So you do have like people that come looking specifically for that, not just like a good read, but they want to like put something on their collection.
Right.
Cool, man. I have a tough question for you.
Go for it.
Was there ever a point in time where you thought maybe this wouldn't work, or that it was not a good idea?
No.
Okay.
In fact, I thought if this fails, it's because I did not make enough effort.
I know what you're talking about, man. That's exactly the way that I felt like with the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because what you're saying is like it's not going to fail because it was not a good idea, or like it's not going to fail on its own.
Right.
Like it won't be because nobody wanted to book. It would be because you didn't put in the effort, and you knew that was not going to happen.
Right.
So essentially it's not going to fail because you know that you're not gonna like not put enough effort.
Right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Now I will say that sometimes it happens. It's part of the game, especially in the retail world, where you just don't know what you're going to get. Some days will be extremely incredible, then other days are terrible.
Yeah.
When I first started, when I got a day of terrible sales, I would think to myself, oh no, what have I done? What did I do? What's wrong with me? Then I would cross the street over to the Market Square Saloon to see what's going on. I would see that the rest of the bar empty.
Same deal.
Yeah, they say, oh, they'll tell me, oh, don't worry, Gilbert. It's a slow day in downtown Brownsville everywhere.
It wasn't just here.
Exactly.
That's good. So that's some perspective then.
Exactly.
That's good. That's good to, because there's a lot of our listeners that, maybe they're doing something similar. They also have their own little thing going on. But those things happen though, right? Like it's just part of the journey, right?
Right.
There's gonna be a slow day, and
Yes.
that's the slow day. Like you got to specify, right? Like,
Yes.
it's just one day. That's cool. So I have one more question for you.
Go for it.
What is your favorite book?
Oh my gosh. I will say that 3 books in particular helped make the store the way it is today. And that is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, The Autobiography of Benjamin Franklin, and The Daily Laws by Robert Greene. The first one, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is a must for people who are in the service industry, who deal with people on a regular basis. It opened my eyes, especially because I read it as a high schooler who was very shy and reserved. I thought, oh, I should be nice to people.
This book says be nice. Chapter 1. Be nice.
Oh my gosh. If I remember correctly, the first thing it says is stop complaining.
Like, noted.
Yeah, so something like that. Something like that.
Okay, so that's one of your... Are any of those 3 books here?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Okay, then the second one, The Autobiography of Benjamin Franklin. Ben Franklin, Sam, is my all-time hero.
Cool.
Yes.
Why?
Oh my God. Okay, because a lot of these modern self-help books will tell you something along the lines of find the one thing you're great at and invest all your time and effort into improving yourself and making yourself an expert in that thing, whatever it is. Ben was a master of all the things. Dude was... He besides being a founding father, he was an author. He was a publisher. He was inventor. He was a scientist. All these habits under the sun. He was a statesman. He was a diplomat.
That's true.
Yes,
and
yes.
and pro level at all of them, right?
Yes. He was a member of all these organizations and fraternities, but what I most love about Ben was the fact that his whole philosophy, his whole mantra was the way to add value to yourself is to add value to your community. He was responsible for creating and organizing or being a part of all these organizations in Philadelphia, whose projects, some of them are still in use today.
Really?
Yes, the one that most people know is the Ivy League school, UPenn. Yeah, created by Ben and his posse. And then the third book, The Daily Laws, is written by a guy named Robert Greene, who can be considered a controversial author because he talks about some uncomfortable truths about human nature. Yeah. When I read his book for the first time, I thought, oh my God, this book is evil, but I must keep on reading it.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. Well, The Daily Laws is essentially all his books compiled into one book of 365 pages, where you read one page a day for one whole calendar year.
Ooh, okay.
The whole month of January is entirely devoted to what is it about you and you specifically that makes you special, that can add value to you and those around you. And I thought, oh my gosh, this reminds me of Ben Franklin.
Oh, yeah. Well, you really emulated a lot of that into your store, man.
Yes.
'Cause we just talked about you had like poetry night and all these community things.
See, but it was that book specifically because I started reading it in 2022 that helped that little jumpstart, that first little domino in the whole chain to create Búho.
That's awesome, man. That's cool. That's a cool story. I like how things line up like a
Yes.
certain way, right? And
Yes.
like, and then you see the product,
Uh-huh.
and it's and this store is, I mean, it's new, right? So I mean, who knows where it's going, or like there's we got like in 5 years this place is gonna be like popping. I mean, it already is. This place is beautiful, but
It's only gonna get better.
exactly, yes. I mean, like it's like you only go up from here, man. Like maybe in 5 years there's gonna be like 2 Christmas trees. Nah, I'm kidding. 2 book trees. But well, man, I mean, we bothered you for a little while. We really appreciate the fact that you did this for the reason that you did. Like it wasn't just like, oh man, like I have a dream to open up a bookstore. Like you saw a need,
Right.
and and a true need, because a bookstore, I mean, there's a lot of value to that, right? Like it's like I mean, a bookstore is a place literally like for learning and like for community and for, I mean, somewhere to just get out of the house. And I mean, it's a gift that you gave to Brownsville. So thanks for letting us come. We really appreciate it, man. I'm glad that we made the drive out here, because I feel like we got to learn a little bit more about the valley. And just the local vibe is so cool.
Yeah,
it feels cool. Like, I mean, just that whoever just said hi to you, like you kind of get to know everybody. And that's so cool. So, I mean, if you guys haven't checked out the store, it's there's a book for everybody.
Oh, for sure.
But anyway, man, thanks for the time. I know that we came in here as soon as you closed the store, so we appreciate it. We're gonna have fun looking around real quick, and then we'll let you go.
Sounds good.
But thanks for being on.
Oh, my pleasure. No, this is super fun, Sam. Thank you.
It was. We'll do it again.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Búho. Búho rhymes with duo.
It does.
See you later, guys.